For a historic visit, the Speaker of the Ghanaian Parliament, Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, who is here accompanied by his wife and several other parliamentarians and officials. You will recall, honorable colleagues, that sometime last year, the incessant problem we've had with our neighbors, with our neighbors, which threatened to affect the relationship, very strong ties between Nigeria and Ghana, necessitated by embarking, with the blessing of this House, on what we have come to term legislative diplomacy between myself and the then Speaker to see how we could address the issues affecting the two countries. As I reported back to you, the trip was very fruitful. It was a great success. And I believe strides have been made since then to restore brotherly and friendly relationship between the two countries, and it is ongoing. And I believe this is part of the reason, in continuation of that visit, that the Speaker, Right Honorable Bagbin, or the new Speaker, should I say, who took over from his predecessor, who I met, him and I have continued that relationship, and is here in furtherance of securing the relationship and the bond between the two companies through Parliament. I welcome him and his team. Interestingly, Right Honorable Bagbin and I share a very similar, very almost uncanny, a very similar trajectory. I believe in Ghanaian parliamentary history, he remains the only one that has occupied the position of leader of the opposition in Parliament. He was minority leader, he was majority leader thereafter, and now he is the Speaker of the Parliament. We share that in common, and he will be addressing us today, which is historic in itself, to have him address Parliament today on sundry matters. You are very welcome, Right Honourable. Enjoyed dinner with you yesterday. We look forward to dinner tonight. I will, at this point, ask that the Leader of the House please read the citation of the Right Honourable Bagbin, after which he will take the floor and address this august body. Thank you.
But let me, just with your kind indulgence and the pleasure and permission of the Right Honourable Speaker, demask so that you may recognize me properly. I'm sure I have arrived now. Right Honorable Olufemi Hakeem Bajabiamila, Speaker of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the majority leader who just a few seconds ago was afraid of coming before me, and the minority leader who happily rushed to me to try and hear a few words from me, leadership of the House and leadership of various...
It's not, I'm sorry, Right Honorable Speaker, it is very untraditional for me to intercept, but we have the Deputy Speaker with us, who comes right after me and is sitting right there on your right. I'm sorry I had to butt in at that stage. The Deputy Speaker, Honorable Wase, is here.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I recognize the presence of the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. I also recognize the presence of the leadership of various committees and caucuses of the House, and particularly recognize the large presence of the respectable members of this House. Let me acknowledge also the distinguished invited guests and our partners from the media, and more importantly, the people we represent, the ladies and gentlemen of Nigeria. I bring you felicitations from the President of the Republic of Ghana and Chairman of the Economic Committee of West African States, ECOWAS, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I also extend to you warm and hearty greetings from the entire membership of Ghana's Parliament and the good people of Ghana, who indeed are your kin and kith. Ghana salutes His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the admirable people of Nigeria for your participation in the recent ECOWAS summit, which extended the chairmanship of Ghana's President of the community. The bold and decisive position Nigeria took at the summit represents to me a statement of our joint commitment to consolidate our democratic gains across the sub-region. It manifests our joint resolution to fight anti-democratic tendencies, terrorism, and related vices that appear to be on the rise in our sub-region. Permit me to also seize this opportunity to applaud the efforts of His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan in leading the ECOWAS mediation team to find a solution to the political instability in Mali. Above all, my deep respect and appreciation also go to my good brother, friend, and colleague, Right Honorable Olufemi Hakeem Bajabiamila, for his cutting-edge parliamentary diplomacy and visionary initiative of cementing the already great and cordial historic diplomatic relations between Ghana and Nigeria. I do not have the appropriate words to describe his gracious invitation to host me and for us to continue with efforts to actualize the vision. But apart from just that, also to address the distinguished members of the House of Representatives of Nigeria. This is historic, a momentous feat, unparalleled by any speaker of the houses of our two countries in our post-independence democratic history. Right Honorable Speaker, I am extremely grateful. This honor, no doubt, is a practical step towards cementing the bonds between our two great nations, particularly our legislatures. Right Honorable Speaker, kindly also indulge me for a few minutes to introduce members of my delegation to the House. I am accompanied on this trip by my wife, some senior members, and staff of Ghana's Parliament. Let me, first of all, acknowledge my wife, the person who made it possible for me to survive and win 8 consecutive elections from 1992. The person who made sure I had the unwavering support and votes of my constituents and MPs to be in Parliament for 28 years and still counting. Definitely, as I stated earlier on, referring to no other person than my lovely and adorable wife, Miss Alice Adjoa Yunus. Right Honorable Speaker, please, I'm sure you got the message right. The role that your wives and your husbands play, if you want to stay as long as I have done. Right Honorable Speaker, the senior members and staff of Ghana's Parliament with me include the following: the Honorable Carlos Kingsley Ahenkra, who is the Chairman, Committee on Trade and Industry. The Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofi Bua, Ranking Member, Committee on Trade and Industry. The Honorable Brian Achampon, Chairman, Committee on Foreign Affairs. The Honorable Samuel Okujetu Ablakwa, Ranking Member, Committee on Foreign Affairs. Mr. Cyril Kobina Oteng Insia, Clerk to Parliament. Mr. Richard Kwame Achampon, Head of Parliamentary Relations and Protocol. Ms. Anita Shelley Kwati Papafiu, Head of the Speaker's Secretariat. Mr. Justice Dansunovo, my aide, and the Assistant Superintendent of Police, Simon Tenkun, my aide-de-camp. Mr. Speaker, just a few words about the history of Ghana-Nigeria relations. Right Honorable Speaker, relations between Ghana and Nigeria predate our attainment of political independence. It has been characterized by our shared socio-political history and culture. Many Nigerians and Ghanaians don't know that the West African Students' Union was founded by 21 law students led by Ladipo Solanke and Herbert Bankole Bright, both of Nigeria. Yet, they called on a PhD student from Ghana, Dr. J.B. Dankwa, to be the first president of West African Students' Union. 2 champions of print media in the Gold Coast were Nnamdi Azikiwe of Nigeria, who later became Governor General of Nigeria, and Wallace Johnson of Saloni, now called Sierra Leone, who founded the first labor union in Nigeria in 1931. We note the pioneering and inspiring role played by Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and his colleagues, young student activists, since the Pan-African Conference of 1945 in Manchester that gave the final push towards the liberation and independence of African nations. That unity of purpose and infectious solidarity which characterized that era ensured that colonialism and imperialism were defeated. That solidarity and brotherhood must continue to underpin our contemporary relations. Right, Honorable Speaker, I can go on and on with verifiable examples to establish that we are one and the same people. We are now, for good historical and natural reasons, made up of numerous and varied ethnic and tribal groups and people, but from a background of a common official language, educational system, currency, a career, and adjudicatory system at a point in our colonial history. These significantly contributed to our ability to work together in many spheres of endeavors. The symbiotic nature of our relationship as a result of this cannot be gainsaid. This explains why within the sub-region, even though we do not share geographical boundaries, we share the same ideals. We see ourselves as one people with a common destiny. Indeed, history tells us that a number of ethnic groups in Ghana migrated from Nigeria. I am referring to the Gans in Greater Accra region, along the coast in Ghana, and the Mole Mamprisi Dagbani ethnic group in the northern part of Ghana. Their languages and traditions reflect those of the Yorubas and the more than 21 languages spoken in Gombe and Bauchi states. It is therefore not strange why our culture and traditions, with particular reference to our cuisine, dances, values, and aspirations remain identical. A clear evidence of the artificiality of our borders occasioned by the Berlin Conference of 1884-85, which partitioned Africa amongst the imperialists. Right, Honorable Speaker? Despite all these commonalities, it is important to mention at this stage that relations between our two countries have not always been smooth. Consistent with the tongue and teeth metaphor, which has it that even though the tongue and teeth play complementary roles in the digestive process, they come into conflict occasionally. Similarly, our relations have had its own challenges even now and then. And those who are well married know that the best time you enjoy your marriage is when from time to time you disagree with your spouse. And definitely that is the only area that the two warring factions will always sleep on the same bed. The events of 1969 went through the Aliens Compliance Order. Ghana expelled a large number of Nigerians, and the 1983 Ghana Must Go, which saw Nigeria deporting about 1 million Ghanaians, are dark days in the history of our two countries. These actions were destructive to the socio-economic and fraternal relations between Ghana and Nigeria and stretched the fabric and strands of bonds beyond measure. It is no wonder that successive leaders of our two countries have since then vowed never to allow those incidents to ever recur. It is on this basis that I commend my brother and colleague, Right Honorable Bajabia Mila, and my predecessor, Right Honorable Professor Aaron Michael Okoye, for their noble efforts in pursuing parliamentary diplomacy towards finding a lasting solution to the trade impasse between some Ghanaian and Nigerian traders in Ghana. This impasse followed the full implementation of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act 2013, which occasioned the closure of shops belonging to some foreigners, including some of our brothers and sisters from Nigeria. Right Honorable Speaker, your visit to Ghana in September 2020 demonstrated a significant commitment on your part and the leadership of our two legislatures to strengthen the bonds that exist between us as one people, and with it, the development of our two countries. For that reason, you and your counterpart defied the threat posed by COVID-19 pandemic to reach out to one another at a time when the global community was living in fear of such physical contacts. The conclusions you arrived at, which were encapsulated in the joint communique issued after the visit, provided the basis for redefining our relations in terms of our history of cooperation to forge a better future for the citizenry of our two nations. These conclusions were reinforced by the communique issued after the recent meeting between our ministers responsible for trade on the sides of the extraordinary ECOWAS summit on the political situation in Mali, held on the 31st of May 2021 in Accra. As I have repeatedly stated on various platforms, if COVID-19 has taught us any lesson, it is that no country, no individual, and no group of persons can succeed on its own efforts. Given the nature of global emerging challenges, which tend to be trans-territorial and transgenerational, we need, as people and nations, to forge and bond together. If we want to survive in peace and prosperity, we have no alternatives than to work together to find common solutions in this global village. Right, Honorable Speaker, my colleagues, honorable members of Parliament, Ghana and Nigeria are forerunners in this respect. Our history of oneness, kith and kin, and good relations makes it imperative for us to make all necessary efforts at forging together in peace and harmony on all fronts of our socio-economic life. Right, Honorable Speaker, I am here just to help bring finality to the impasse. I pledge my commitment and that of the Parliament of Ghana to contribute in every way possible to end the impasse between traders of our two sister countries. In furtherance of that, under my leadership, the Parliament of Ghana has appointed a 7-member committee as Ghana's delegation to the Joint Committee of Eminent Persons of our legislatures. They will interact with their Nigerian counterparts towards passing the Ghana-Nigeria Friendship Act. The Act will set up the proposed Ghana-Nigeria Business Council, which is intended to provide the legal and institutional framework to sustain the continued friendship and business interests of our people. I am particularly glad to indicate that they are with me on this trip and are ready to engage with their counterparts towards realizing the intentions expressed in the Act. The communique of 31st May 2021 meeting suggested in part a ring-fencing of some of the thorny requirements of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act 2013. This was a laudable suggestion. Of particular mention in this regard is the reconsideration of the $1 million United States minimum capital requirement for trading enterprises under Section 28(2) of the Act. This is to facilitate regularization of the businesses of the affected Nigerian retail traders in the trade impasse. Equally commendable is a special concession to be applied to the requirement for the payment of 0.5% stamp duty on the capital investment required by both the Ghana Investment Promotion Center and the Registrar General's Department in respect of investment by foreign nationals. Our Parliament is ready and working to make sure that these are not applied to our brothers and sisters who are from Nigeria trading in Ghana. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is understandable that the meeting resolved to apply all other aspects of the legal requirements in respect of foreigners' participation in retail trade in Ghana and Nigeria. Recent and emerging security imperatives necessitate that while we seek to deepen cooperation among citizens of our two countries, we must not fail to prevent opportunists from taking undue advantage of loopholes in our systems that might tend to jeopardize the economic fortunes of our respective countries. With this, I want to say a word about Nigeria's prohibition list. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are making progress in resolving the concerns of the Nigerian traders in Ghana. It has been a joint effort between our two countries. That is always the way to go if we are interested in the peace and development of our countries. I am confident that the intervention of our two legislatures in this effort will yield results. Whilst at it, it is said that it must be peace without victory. Only peace between equals can last. To this end, it will be highly appreciated if the government of Nigeria will review the prohibition list banning the importation of goods and commodities into the Nigerian market from countries including Ghana. This request is underscored by the resolution as captured in the communique of 31st May 2021 referred to supra. I have no doubt, Right Honourable Speaker, under your sterling leadership of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, an institution of measureless might and majesty, Nigeria can fine-tune the prohibition list to align with contemporary international trade practices. The coming into being of the African Continental Free Trade Area signals that we are open for business and mutual beneficial investment. Indeed, Africa's prosperity depends largely on intra-African trade. Increase in trade volumes is the surest way to deepen regional integration in Africa. The low levels of trade among African countries as compared to trade with other parts of the world, constitute one of the defining characteristics of our continued poverty. Data available from the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa indicates that in 2019, Africa's total volume of trade was about 460 billion United States dollars. However, only 69 billion United States dollars of this huge volume of trade was transacted among African nations. What is even more worrying is that most of these imports traded can be produced, and procured in Africa. This unfortunate trend hinders prospects of bringing the needed prosperity to our people. It results in the frailty of our security situation, given that the rising youth unemployment on our continent, which is the world's youngest continent, occasioned by this unpleasant development, provides handy tools to those so minded to perpetrate all kinds of vandalism, hooliganism, and violent extremism. In conclusion, sir, Right Honourable Speaker, let me affirm my readiness to contribute to deepening the parliamentary diplomacy that has been commenced by you and my predecessor to deal with all current and future challenges that our continent may be confronted with. I am particularly excited about the Conference of Speakers and Heads of African Parliaments (COSAP) initiative to pursue the cancellation of the rising debt situation in Africa, occasioned by the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. I am of the firm conviction that with effective parliamentary diplomacy in support of the executive arms of our government, as well as our development partners, this initiative will see a resounding success. Our history is replete with instances where Ghana and Nigeria have confronted and overcome our challenges. Working together, this seeming mountain before us shall be a pebble behind us. Right Honourable Speaker, as for the debate on which of us has the best soccer team and the best jollof, I believe that rivalry will continue unabated, even though you all know where I stand on that debate. On this note, Right Honourable Speaker, honourable members of the House of Representatives, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, God bless Ghana-Nigeria relations. God bless all of us, and I thank you all for the audience. Thank you once again.
The House of Representatives thank the Right Honourable Bagwin, the Speaker of the Ghanaian Parliament, and his entourage for being here with us today and for your very encouraging address. It is clear that we both are on the same page, both parliaments, and you have addressed issues that go beyond synthetic issues, but that strike at the very core of our relationship and existence as brothers. I thank you very much. I note that you have set up very quickly the Parliamentary Friendship Group from Ghana, and work has immediately started. Before you leave these chambers, we will inaugurate our group as well. You have addressed the issue of the prohibition list. We'll definitely look at it. We will be mindful of the need for bilateral trade between the two countries and the smoothness of the same, whilst being mindful as well of the deliberate protectionist policies of both governments. I believe that we will strike a very delicate balance and come up with a win-win situation for Nigeria and for Ghana. It is important that we look into this because these are the guardrails of parliamentary diplomacy and the guardrails of democracy. I thank you once again for your speech. Our engagement will continue shortly after this in my office, together with the relevant committee heads that will meet with us. And I must close in response to your parting shot and say that there actually is no rivalry. You talked about some imagined rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana in relation to the jollof rice. In Nigeria there is no rivalry, but as we say, when it comes to jollof rice and football, the difference is clear. Thank you very much once again, and God bless you. We'll actually be serving you some jollof rice tonight. And you can also take some back home to Ghana. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. So you're welcome to, I believe, the whip and the sergeant at arms. You're welcome to sit around as we continue our deliberation, but according to the program, I think I will be joining you very shortly in my office so we can continue. Thank you.